Okay. So, one of the things that helped me a lot to consider other people was working in teams. Like when I ran the Pizza Hut, I was in charge of 14 other people. Or when I was a chef, that was really bad. You have to be boss, coordinator, babysitter, therapist. If somebody has a girlfriend problems or couldn't pay the bills or whatever, they don't work well because their minds are troubled, and you have to fix that so that they work, so that you can get through the day. Uh, and so I learned how to consider what other people were going through and what other people needed to hear, uh, although here lately I've been kind of sucking at that. Uh, I kind of forgot. But yeah, working in teams is very helpful to learn how to understand and consider others as well as yourself. When you
Wow.
spend a long time alone, you get away from that. And that's what happened to me. I spent too much time secluded from the rest of society, and I forgot how to deal with people. So I'm
Well,
relearning.
what I have troubles is to be actually listening to another person. And to be listening to another person, I first of all have to recognize other person exists and to be actually interested in what other has to say. Uh, first of all, so I has always was forcing myself to make room to lessen my ego to for another, always forcing empathy, always forcing that listening, or always doing that, and that was kind of really sucking me, making me tired. So that's I just started basically making myself interested in what you have to say. By being interested, I started working with you in some areas by talking, by even. I have other problems as we go on, but you know, it's just making myself interested.
Right. You have to make yourself pay attention to what the other person's saying. That's critical.
And that's fucking like you don't exist because this is my show. Even if you rule it, basically, most of it.
Well, I'll try not to. I'll share this one.
No, completely. It's completely okay if you do all the work and I take all the credits. How is that?
That
As
works.
a narcissist, I love everything that can gain me attention, bring me to the winning, or every other narcissism things, um, whatever it is. I just realized that about paying attention to another because I have so much trouble actually listening to another. I'm just like catch myself just waiting for you to finish, basically.
Ah,
Does that happen to you?
used to.
I'm actually highly interested to know what's going on in non-narcissistic people who have just traits with how it is in me as diagnosed with narcissism, with narcissistic personality disorder. So I always had these questions because, as I said before, narcissism by one doctor is a psychosis because people who have NPD are actually unaware that they have it, um, unaware of that word in itself, what it means, really unaware of what's going on inside of them. They don't think they are that. Even if they do, they kind of like, they don't care. But so, what was my point again?
Uh,
Help.
Making room for another.
Yeah, empathy thing. I never realized I don't have empathy, so I never seen why I should have empathy. So I was interested in others. How do they perceive things, like like me as a narcissist with you, just person with narcissistic traits. How is it with you with all symptoms? Like for empathy to start with. And so I always make myself. First recognize you're there and interested by comparing something with in me,
Yeah.
comparing with something I'm interested in. Maybe if not just about pizza and everything, I'm competition is in a game, so I make myself interested because that's a competition.
How's that a competition?
Making pizzas in my mind obviously is a competition. You now made the question, how is that a competition? And I could see how that isn't a competition for somebody making pizzas. And I completely have it like that's a competition inside of my head. You compete with other people to make best pizzas in the world.
Ah,
And now we are competing in the same time we are competing now. For me, everything is a competition as a narcissist. How do you see things?
well, when I was younger, everything was a competition for me as well. Uh, I saw everyone as opposition, and it was my absolute goal to maintain control over the situation, control over the conversation, control over the project, control
You
over
see,
everything.
do you have that obsession to be in control over the another person or just the situation?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a big difference. To be in control over the situation is anxiety thing. To be control over another person is a narcissistic thing.
Yeah. I began to control the situation first by controlling everyone in the room and,
So that's you started,
manipulating everyone in the room.
but you started from anxious
No,
feelings,
no.
from on a narcissistic, like in a way that you wanted to make that controlled because of what? Because of you
To ensure success.
to ensure success. It's more narcissistic. I agree.
Yes. Everything was thought out
Why do you have to
the
succeed?
moment I entered the room.
Let's go to the biggest core of narcissism. Why do you have to succeed?
Because I I measured my self worth
Yeah,
against that,
what? That's what.
and if I like lost a game
Yeah,
that I was playing with someone, I would get very upset.
because that means you're losing your self-worth, which kind of means like you losing. If you lose self-worth, then you kind of not
This,
lovable,
yeah, it's like dying,
because you're not lovable.
right?
That means that is the core of narcissism. Basically, we are very fast coming to the core of narcissism in this episode. I ended up to be interviewing Drake, who has high narcissistic traits, NDID, and me, who has NPD and DID, Aki, and that's what we will be doing in the future. We just randomly put this camera now here and didn't plan anything at all. So
Thank you for listening.
thank you for listening. It's to again. I'm gonna be deadly honest. This is for my success and recognition. This is for me. And if you catch something very informative or something that can help you or whatever is good for you or good for us in this video, that's great.
Yeah, well, it's
But
also
my motives are, yeah, they are
yeah, but
self-directed.
part of it is also about your own healing.
Yeah, but yeah, I always wanted because of some self stuff. But if you can gain from it, I don't have anything like
Yeah,
if you have.
the first step in this healing process for NPD is honesty with yourself, and so that's kind of why we
Yeah,
began this.
I had masked my narcissism, so we couldn't really see. I couldn't really succeed. Well, I couldn't move healing because I wasn't honest to start with anyone about how I felt, and I started from there. Started from not masking, from being really honest about the state of my narcissism, no, regardless of how bad it is, and from there only I can move forward healing from whatever it is.
Exactly.
So
So yes, when I was younger, I guess you could say that I would have been diagnosed NPD.
um, probably because every child is a narcissist, but in your 20s and later you start learning more and more and more, and that scale should drop.
Yeah.
And if it drops we don't know actually. Jack was never diagnosed really, so do we
But
assumed
knowing what I've learned about NPD, and looking back at my behavior when I was younger,
it was
it's
a lot
obvious.
narcissistic.
Yeah, it's obvious.
I would call that ODD, like currently we call that oppositional defiance disorder.
Yeah, I had some of that too. One of the key experiences that I had that made the first change in me was war. And there I learned to not be seen, to be, you know, with the shadows, rather than, be the star everywhere I go. um, and and I think that started changes in me that later on in life allowed me to be able to make the leap to, um, working with teams and including others and not just myself.
I think that for a healing you have to have a good motive, because I never had a good motive, so I never wanted to change. I because I always been even told change because it's not fair towards another, and you kind of don't care if it's not fair towards another. You don't care if it's unfair towards you, and it will be forceful, But if I recognize that I feel better when I change, I will, as a motive, put then I'll change because I feel better. And just to mention, I have high levels of anxiety as well that can be recognized. So basically, mixed with narcissism is just a fight to control everything possible.
Right. You asked a question earlier if, when we're talking, if uh, there's ever a time that I want to share something and feel like I cannot, and if that's
Yeah.
bad for me. When I was younger, situations like that would have turned into us talking over each other and each getting louder and louder until it was a shouting
Mm-hmm.
match. Nowadays, if you're talking and there's something I want to share, I may try a couple of times, and if I can't get in, I just let it go and just refocus my attention on what you're saying, uh, and it's not a problem.
Yeah, I obsess too much over things, like take them and have to really, really push them, like you see.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I
But
can't just let go of them, and if you learn to really really let go your mind over that obsession, because you get like it's too much now, it's kind of like nice.
Well, I think it's really important that you have someone in your life that makes you feel like that you are worthy and you are special,
Yeah,
no matter what.
that's normal levels of narcissism are always welcome. But we just talk about bad, unhealthy narcissism.
Right. Well, if you have someone in your life that fulfills that for you, that reassures you constantly that you're totally
Perfect.
worth it and totally perfect,
The way you are.
just the way you are. You don't have to win anything to be
Worth of love.
valued.
Valued or worthy of love.
I think that's really important. Uh,
Yeah, it is. In
Without
fact,
that, I don't see how you can ever even take the
yeah,
first steps towards healing.
that's normal, healthy levels of narcissism, uh, and this other everything more than that is kind of considered bad.
Yeah.
It's unhealthy. That's why it's bad, because it's unhealthy. You don't feel good. Others don't feel good. Nobody feels good. End
Right.
of the story.
It,
Nobody
it's
feels good.
it's kind of an artificial way of inflating your ego, and somehow it creates poor self value. Uh, and you become too dependent upon others to feed you, uh, and you forget how to recognize your own self value.
Absolutely. I think you are a lot knowledgeable when it comes to this topic, and I think I can benefit a lot from further conversations,
Yes, you got it.
conversations.
Close enough.
Close enough. Close enough. I can always edit this, you know.
It's fine. It's fine just like it is. I hope you
I never,
guys.
I never edit my stuff. To be honest, not because I think it's authentic is the best. That's honestly, but honestly, I can't bother to go to editing program.
Well, I could, but I'm with you. I think raw and natural is the best way to go.
It's authentic. It's just the best. It's like they are in the room currently and
Yeah. So
can.
I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Look forward to the next post. Good night.
I